Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you have made it to this video, congrats, because I am still new to this and I don't know how you exactly found my channel, but you are here. So basically I just do a lot of nostalgic commentary about things, for people who have similar interests as mine, like Disney, Pixar, things like that. Let me stop messing with this. Okay. So today we are going to be discussing A Bug's Life. I'm going to put something right here. A Bug's Life. So basically the story about A Bug's Life is an ant named Flick, something like that. Flick. He goes to, so basically there are grasshoppers who are the enemies of the little ant colony, and they're always looking for food. So the ants put out a certain amount of food for the grasshoppers. Every week or something, the grasshoppers come, no problem as long as they leave their food. Well, one day Flick messed up the food, and then the grasshoppers were upset, and so then Flick must go find an army to fight off the grasshoppers for any future encounters they might have, so that the grasshoppers will leave this ant colony alone. So as Flick goes on his journey to find other bugs, warrior bugs that can help the ant colony with this grasshopper problem that they have. So he goes out, he finds like a ladybug, a caterpillar, a spider, and they're actually circus bugs, which the circus bugs think that they're going to perform, and Flick doesn't make it clear that it's for an art for a fight. Well, the bugs get to the colony, the bugs end up loving being at the colony, the ants love the bugs, and then eventually they realize, oh wait, we're here for a war. The ants feel betrayed that Flick lied to them because they're actually circus bugs, but I mean, if they're there to fight, it's the same thing. They just happen to work at a circus. But okay, anyways, the grasshoppers come, there's a huge action scene, and ultimately our people win in the end. Basically, I'll get to the ending at the end. So how does all of this tie into what is going on in today's society, or what's been going on in today's society? And I will get to it because there are several quotes. Well, there was a specific quote that they used, the main grasshopper, which is played by Kevin Spacey, used, and I will circle around and get back to it. I can't believe I used the term circle around. So, Bug's Life. Let's start with the backstory. It is the first ever Pixar film. Like, I remember when A Bug's Life came out. I remember, being like, what am I looking at? Like, and I realized it's this thing called computer generation, like some sort of new age way to do cartoons. But when I look back on it now, you can tell that the graphics are old. Like, it still looks good, but you can tell, like, you can't compare those graphics to the graphics that are in Toy Story 4. But if you look at these graphics, but when I was younger, I had never seen anything like that before, so it didn't mean anything. Like, I was like, oh, these graphics are stupid. And like, I was like, wow, like, this is new, this is different, this is cool. I remember having McDonald's toys, like the Bug's Life, like McDonald's toys, and getting them out my Happy Meal, and it was just like, I specifically remember what the McDonald's toys looked like in the Happy Meal, so that's funny. So I didn't realize the big stars that were in this movie. I had no idea, and I don't know what it is about this movie. For it to be the first, it doesn't get talked about like that. Like, it doesn't get the same credit. I don't like, for me, I wasn't a super like obsessed with the movie. I wasn't crazy about it. I didn't have like stuffed animals or anything of it when I was younger, but for it to be the first Pixar animation that came out partnered with Disney, feature length, like, you just would think it would get a little bit more accolades in everyday Pixar type of conversations, but you don't really hear Bug's Life mentioned that much. I don't know if it's because it's the first and people just want to leave that alone. But so we have just some people that I didn't realize were in the movie. Kevin Spacey is the villain. Hayden Panettiere plays Dot. why am I just now realizing Hayden Panettiere played Dot? Like, I guess that explains why she had so many Disney movies later on, but it's crazy. Like, I had no idea. Julia's Dreyfus, I don't know her full name, from Seinfeld, y'all know her, Eileen. She plays the princess, didn't know that. And Ashley Tisdale is in this movie. She's like, I think she has a small part, but the fact that she's even in this is crazy. So I guess her Disney contract didn't run out at all. Like, you were like a child up until you're like in your mid-20s. So that's a good check to have. So one thing I really enjoy about Bugs Life is the theme music. So it's like I don't know if they played it in other things, but for some reason that theme music is so like, I haven't even watched that movie that many times, but that theme music, when I hear it, I feel like it's a movie I've watched like a million times. Like, it's something about that Bugs Life theme music that is like iconic. Also, it may have something to do with Animal Kingdom as well, but again, I'll get into that. So I'll just talk about the pros and the cons. So the pros to me is this movie has a really good storyline. I remember it differently. Like, so I didn't really know. I watched it for the first time in 20 years last night. So 2 decades. This is my first time watching it in the 21st century, I'm sure. Yeah, because I think it's, yeah. So, and what's funny is this movie came out at the same time as this other movie called Ants. So that's just like weird. But I used to get those two movies confused. And Toy Soldiers. Bugs Life, Ants, and Toy Soldiers, for some reason, all three of those movies are, in my past memory, were just like one big movie, one big thing that had happened. So I really like the storyline. I like how Flick was exiled. He has to go off and find these bugs to fight. Like, basically like your typical outcast saves the day story. I just don't remember this being a storyline. I don't know what I thought the storyline was. I even forgot that there was grasshoppers in this movie. So when he goes off to find warriors, I just love I love how they show the city. Like, so basically I love how the ants are so like small town. Like, they've never seen a ladybug before. They've never seen a caterpillar. All these are just like far-fetched out stories. So if Flick goes to the big city for the first time, it's just cool. Like, it's like, imagine being a small town girl, and you move to a big city, and all the things you experience, all the different people you see, and just, it's a culture shock. So it was really cool seeing. So I think they were trying to tie into that, like, branch outside of your small colony. That was one of the lessons I got out of it. I really like the ladybug. So ladybugs are known to be pretty and cute and beautiful and like sassy, and it's a man. Like, they had the ladybug voiced by a man, which I think is brilliant. And he is a man. He's a male ladybug, a male bug. One thing I didn't like was Flick, how they exiled him like twice. Like, what kind of colony? Like, so I wasn't a big fan of the princess who falls in love with Flick. Like, I think that's ridiculous. She treated him horrible throughout the entire movie, and then she ends up with him in the end. And maybe they adopted the little girl. I don't know. I didn't really like that. And my thing with this movie, another con would be, it's a typical Disney ending. So they don't have the main character kill the villain. It's just some like freak. It's always a freak of nature. Like, it's usually thunder, lightning, outside person kills a villain, you know, this or that, like, usually. But like, I mean, from time to time they'll have like a prince come and save the day or whatever, but like, usually the villains end up like killing themselves. So like with this, a bird actually kills the main villain, which is, it almost to me felt like they did all that for nothing. Like, they did all this fighting, they built a fake bird, they did this and that just for a bird, a real bird, to come and like eat the grasshopper. But I mean, again, that shows a circle of life too. So it's like, you have like one line that they used was so the grasshopper who is the villain, he used a line like, they outnumber us. He says something, so this is where I want to relate it to what's going on in today's society. I felt like I needed to make the two. I would hate to do a video and not have it address like social things that are going on right now. So he says a line that goes something like, they outnumber us, like, because you think about an ant colony versus like a couple of grasshoppers, the ants usually will outnumber the grasshoppers significantly. So it's like 1,000 ants to 20 grasshoppers. He's like, they outnumber us. We have to keep the social, so because one of the grasshoppers, one of the sidekicks of the villain mentions something like, why don't we just let it go, like, we're done, like, the ants aren't bothering us, like, we got our food, like, let's just leave them alone, like, and just focus on ourselves, basically what he said. So then the main grasshopper, Kevin Spacey, goes, they outnumber us like 1,000 to 200 to 1. We have to keep the social order, or else they'll know their power, and we have to go back and kill them, or because we want to let them know who's in charge. Something along the lines of that. It's because the whole purpose of the movie is the grasshoppers are coming back to fight. So that's why Flick went out and got warriors. Another grasshopper tells him, we got what we want, we don't need to go back and fight, what's the point? There is no point. The only point is, we want them to know their place, and we are going to fight them until they know their place, even though they're not coming over there where we are. They're not bothering us, but we need to go over there and bother them so they know their place. That mentality sounds very familiar. And this isn't even a black or white thing. This even stretches out to just socioeconomic status. Like, or with bullies, or just like, you see it so much. People who know they are less, few, and far between like to bother other people and make them feel small and less and unworthy, and intimidate and antagonize them to death, so that because that gives them power, and it causes fear onto the other groups of people. Negativity and like violence and negativity brings fear, whether they are outnumbered 1,000 to 1. When you have a group of 1,000 good people minding their business and a few bad people who cause fear upon them because that's not in them or who they are, they don't have that natural instinct to fight, to kill, to like, because they're ants or they're just ordinary people. But since that is the catalyst of what the grasshoppers live off of, they use that to gain power. Instead of minding their own business, which is always an option, they use them to elevate their status. And because they're small, like, they knew they just could tower over them, and I mean, that you even see that in family. Like, you have a hold over someone, and you use that for intimidation, for interrogation, use it for bad, use it for evil and not good. And I just think, I mean, they hit it. I mean, obviously there's an underlying story in every Disney Pixar film, but that was definitely that. They hit it on the head. I really just, I really wish us as humans in the real world could overcome and fight as the ants did. I mean, I think that's what we're doing now in 2020. You're seeing where we, people, misunderstood groups of people, marginalized people, people of color, people just trying to make it in the world, trying to move up, just trying to eat, sleep, go to work, come home, like not even trying to like overthrow anyone, just trying to survive being constantly attacked simply because they're different. It's not because this person did it, just simply because they're different. I mean, this could even, if you want to get really deep, this message also could stem back to racism, back to slavery, basically. Black people outnumbered. And they're in their hub, in their plantation, in their colony, Black people outnumbered the white people significantly. But due to restraints and fear, they did not fight back. Okay, I'm not gonna say they didn't fight back because that is unfair to say. So many people, I am here today because people fought back. People fought. But you see, so I'm not, this really has actually nothing to do about whether you fight back or not. This is about show how art imitates life. So you see how it was easy to conquer a group of people due to fear and due to just intimidation, when in reality, I think the people who can remain the people who can remain virtuous and humane, the people who can remain humane are the real winners, are the ones on top. It's not about money, it's not about power. If you can remain humane and survive, if you are a marginalized person and you're still here today, that's because you, in your long history of relatives, survived. And you didn't have to do it by conquering colonies. You didn't have to do it by killing. I mean, obviously there's exceptions, but as a whole, because if you kill to do all that, you're probably jail locked up and can't produce more offspring like that. So you can be redeemed. So it's like, just because you kill does not mean that you're not redeemable. But as a majority whole, we are here and we're able to survive and stand. And I mean, and this again, if you're LGBT or like whatever, it's because of people before you who fought hard in a humane way to stay here, to be here, to allow you to be here, but did it in a way where they didn't have to hurt people. Just stood up for what was right. It's not about power. It's about right from wrong. Anything outside from that is ego. I want to be rich. I want to be successful. I want a huge building on the top of the Empire State Building. I want a Trump Tower. I want to be president. Da, da, da. At the end of the day, none of it matters. So if you take away ego, a lot of that would go away. A lot of that, let me step on this person to get here and this and that. Like, life is not about that. And so many people don't understand that. Even ministers and preachers, like, they can sometimes, no matter, you're doing good works and your intentions are good, but sometimes the ego, you see it. You see the ego working in people of power, even if it's a religious figure. So I mean, just a lot of life, like, it's just how I take from it, how I want to educate people in the just of the world is just be righteous in everything you do, peaceful and calm. I, however, struggle with those type of adjectives. And I mean, the list goes on. It's not just 3. I mean, be loving, be prosperous, be giving, be selfless. Like, there's all these positive adjectives that I think we should use to steer and drive our life. And I myself am working on that. I could definitely do better just at my own personal colony, personal life. Like, do better as a whole. So I just think it's a good lesson. And who would know that in 2020, well, they did know, because this has been the same thing that's been happening for like 500 years. Slavery just ended 300 years ago. So all this has been going on for like, I mean, it's been going on for so long. So when they wrote this, they probably knew that this isn't anything that's going to end anytime soon, because it's been happening for so long. Yes, you can make progress along the way, but it's not going to end anytime soon. And so, you know, in 2020, we're talking about A Bug's Life. Excuse me. And it is applying to things that are socially going on here, again, in 2020. This year has been interesting, is the word I'm going to use. It has been trying, and it has been uncertain. It's been unpredictable. Each day I wake up and I'm like, I don't know. That's literally like what I don't know. It just comes across, like, I don't know what I'm gonna read. I don't know what someone's gonna call and tell me. I don't know what I'm gonna see. I don't know what I'm gonna hear. I don't know, like, if my work status, like, everything is put on hold and on pause. But I mean, just use this as a challenge. Look, when you watch movies, look for the hidden message that the directors, producers, writers wanted you to see. So hope you enjoyed this video. Check out some of my older videos. This channel is new, so I am just trying to produce as many videos as possible, produce content, have something for people to watch when they see one video. They can be like, oh, I want to see more, so here's more. Obviously, I'm still working on my creative direction for the channel. I'm still working on my presence on the channel, my speaking. I've never really just spoke to I've never just really, like, or it's been a long time where I've just spoke out and just spoke to myself, and it's actually very therapeutic, and I am enjoying it. So please check out my other videos, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and if you would like to follow me on social media, Claire Rogers, it's my name throughout everything, and just let me know you found me through YouTube. Thank you. Bye.